The pharynx is a shared conduit for both the respiratory and digestive systems, extending from the base of the skull to approximately C6. Functionally, this dual role explains why its musculature must be under voluntary and reflexive control. The pharynx must rapidly and precisely coordinate airflow and swallowing, failure of which could lead to aspiration or aspiration pneumonia. Its muscular walls also contribute to speech resonance and airway patency. The pharynx is divided into three regions, the nasopharynx, oropharynx, and laryngopharynx, based off of both structure and function. These divisions reflect changes in epithelial cell type, airflow versus food passage, and immune surveillance. As we start to move inferiorly, the epithelium becomes more resistant to abrasion, anticipating exposure to solid food. The pharynx, from a functional perspective, does really two main roles. It functionally connects the nasal and oral cavities to the larynx and the esophagus, and it's composed of both it's composed of skeletal muscle, which allows for voluntary control during swallowing and speech. The skeletal muscle composition distinguishes it from many of the other components of our lower airway systems, which rely on smooth muscle and autonomic control. The first portion, the nasopharynx, is exclusively a respiratory passageway. It's lined with pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium that's optimized for mucociliary clearance. During swallowing, the soft palate and uvula will elevate to seal off this space, which prevents food from moving upward into the nasal cavity. The presence of pharyngeal tonsils highlights the nasopharynx's role in immune surveillance, particularly early on in life. The oropharynx serves as a shared pathway for both air and food, extending from the soft palate to the epiglottis, and you can see that here. Because it's exposed to mechanical stress from swallowed material, it's lined with stratified squamous epithelium, and the palatine and lingual tonsils form part of the Waldeyer's ring, which provides immunologic defense against inhaled and ingested pathogens. Lastly, the laryngopharynx, this lowest portion here, is the inferior portion of the pharynx and represents the final common pathway before respiratory and digestive systems diverge from one another. It directs air into the larynx and food into the esophagus. Like the oropharynx, it's lined with stratified squamous epithelium, reflecting its exposure to abrasion during swallowing. So, before we move on, just a reminder, we've thus far talked about our upper respiratory system and the upper respiratory system structures. Now we'll be moving into the lower respiratory system.